Are you an abuser? Is that what you are? Are you an abuser? You... Do you abuse your bike? Are you one of those cats that get a new bike and you start tinkering with it straight away? You can't leave it alone, can you? And you start abusing it, and actually you kind of make it worse than it was before. Yep, I've been guilty of that in the past, no doubt. And I dare say that most people out there who've ever tinkered with their bikes have made a few cock-ups along the way. Recently I've been riding quite a few bikes, and stock bikes, you know, from different brands, not just Harley Davidson, and I've got to say the way they ride a lot of the time is absolutely fine. There's nothing wrong with them. They're great. So what is it that makes you want to go and change it? What is it that you think, oh, do you know what, I'm going to get my bike and I'm going to improve it because I know more than the engineers themselves? And one of the things is that sometimes the bike, it just needs tweaking, doesn't it? Just to fit the way you want to ride it, if you know what I mean. Now, as we know, especially in the Harley Davidson world, they kind of provide you with a, let's put it this way, a bike that still needs a bit of work, still needs a bit of attention. And a lot of it is down to performance, a lot of it is down to the way it rides, and a lot of it is down to the constraints of manufacturers being able to comply with different rules and regulations, let's say emissions controls and all that kind of stuff. So you kind of want to free the beast, as it were. You as an individual, you think, oh no, I'm just gonna do this little bit, tweak this little bit, put that cam in there, change the exhaust, you know, open up a vent here or there. And sometimes you kind of get it wrong. You can waste a lot of money, and you can get in this kind of this whirlwind of constantly changing parts, constantly trying to upgrade, trying to fine tune or find that certain elixir that's gonna make your bike the perfect bike. And you know what, I dare say that once you get into that spiral, that whirlpool, that whirlwind of constantly looking for something that's going to improve your bike, you never really achieve it. And you get to the point you think, I'll trade it in, I'll sell this and get another bike, and guess what, you start the whole process again. Now, maybe Harley Davidson riders are the worst at this. Maybe we are, because we kind of look at our bikes and think, oh yeah, I'll change that, I'll change that. Maybe I'm not as bad as a lot of you guys out there. When I say bad, do you know what I mean? I'm not as involved, I'm not as prone to changing things. I'm more of a tinkerer. I'm more of trying to eke little things out here and there as opposed to making big changes. I've never been completely sold on the idea of the big changes, especially to Harley Davidsons. But in terms of suspension, in terms of engine performance upgrades, yeah, I mean, they do open it up a little bit. They do make them ride a little bit better. Obviously, it depends on which Harley Davidson you got, of course. I don't know what era. But sometimes, you know, you just kind of leave them alone or don't do too much, and they probably last a lot longer. I don't know. I mean, maybe you'll keep the bike a lot longer if you just left it alone a little bit. Let us know your thoughts, because I hear this time and time again from Harley Davidson riders as well. They'll say, leave the bike alone, don't tinker with it, leave it stock or just do minimal upgrades, and you'll probably keep it for a lot longer. It won't let you down. It'll ride and ride and ride. You know, I know Harleys that have ridden 150,000 miles, you know, and they're pretty much stock bikes, and they just keep on going and going and going. So what's the deal? The deal is that we want to make it our own, don't we? We want to have a bike that reflects our personality, and more so probably with Harley Davidsons than any other bike. Maybe Triumphs, maybe Indian, I suppose, to a lesser degree, but certainly Harley Davidson, they are kings. They are kings of, you know, providing you with a platform to build upon. Maybe they don't always like to word it in such a way, but we know that the bike is incomplete and we have to complete it in our own style, right? Yeah. Now, there's no doubt, and I'm sure you'll agree as well, I'm sure you've witnessed this before. You've seen bikes and you think, what the hell have you done? Why have you done that? Why have you put that paint job in there? Why have you done that? It just doesn't match with your own aesthetics. But that's the whole point. It's not about what you like in somebody else's bike, it's what that other person likes in their own bike, right? Right. And other people probably have exactly the same thoughts about you and your bike. You think, what have you done? Why have you done that? Why have you just gone upstage there? Why don't you just leave it alone? Why did you put that cam in there? Why did you put those set of handlebars on there? Why did you do that paint job? It's all a bit of a nonsense, really, isn't it? It's just like, okay, you get a bike, you want to do upgrades to it. Sometimes you kind of think, okay, I'm going to do this upgrade, but you totally unbalance the bike as well. You do something, you think, I've got to do that, so I better change that, and then you change that, and then you kind of, as I say, you get onto this kind of this conveyor belt of having to do changes to your bike just to get it back into balance. And it's a never-ending story, isn't it? And you kind of have to be really tough with yourself to think, no, I'm going to stop there, I'm not going to do any more. But then you watch YouTube channels, and then you go to motorcycle events, let's say, or then you see other bikes, you think, oh, I like that, because I'm exactly the same. I go to a motorcycle event or a rally or something like that, or a bike show, and I say, oh, look what they've done there, I like that. From an engineering point of view, from a technical point of view, also just from an aesthetics point of view, I look at it, I go, oh, I like that, I like what you've done there, I like the thought process there. I think, oh, maybe I should do that myself. We're all the same. We're constantly looking at bikes, and you think, oh, yeah. So why aren't we ever happy? Why aren't we ever happy with our bikes? Why do we constantly feel that we have to abuse them, change them? Not necessarily that the grass is greener on the other side, not necessarily that we think, we've got to change the bike, but maybe just change the look of the bike, maybe just do something different. Maybe we just get bored. I don't know if car guys are exactly the same, maybe they are, but I think bike people, we're the worst of the worst, aren't we? We just do it all the time. Especially with Harley Davidsons. Maybe we just can't get away from it. Maybe that's just part of it. Maybe that's just part of the fun. Maybe that's just part of the bike ownership thing. We've got to change it. We've got to make mistakes. We've got to abuse them a little bit. Either doing some engineering work that really we shouldn't be doing, or just riding the bejesus out of them and basically just screwing them up. I mean, this is one thing that I always think, why are you doing that? You see footage of people at bike events and everything, just ripping the rear tyres, shredding the rear tyres. You think, why? That's a perfectly good tyre. Why have you just done that? And you got tyre bits all over your bike, and you think, oh, it looks cool. Don't get me wrong, but really, you think, why? And maybe I'm just an old fart, and maybe that's what old farts think. We think, why have you done that? Save your money, save your bike. But there we go. So I suppose on some level, we're all abusers of our bikes, whether the way we ride them or the way we tinker with them, the way we change them. And sometimes it works out and sometimes it doesn't. But a lot of the bikes that you ride are just good as they are. And I'm not necessarily about Harley Davidson, but if you look at other brands, for example, you ride them, you think, yeah, they've done a really good job here, and you don't necessarily feel that you have to change them, especially modern bikes. You don't have to change them as much. But with Harley Davidsons, even the brand new ones, you still feel you have to change them, a little bit. You wonder why that is. But let us know your thoughts in the comments below, and I'm gonna get onto my abused Harley Davidson and head on down the road for a little bit more, abuse. I'll catch you again. Ta-da.